All right, what's going on, everybody? This time today, I'm finally gonna do it. I'll do some technical analysis on the charts in live time, but instead of what most people do, when I watch these other channels, you can kind of go to the chart and they've already got like all the, the different trend lines and fib retracements and all that stuff already drawn out ahead of time. So, they went in and spent some time making sure it looked nice and was perfect and lined up and all that good stuff. But I thought about doing that and then I'm like, you know what? What's the point? Because then you're not going to learn anything other than just, what I think is going on at the moment. And since we're all about doing, the beginners channel stuff and teaching how to do this and learning myself how to do this, I'm just going to do it in live time right here, draw the lines with you guys, and, we'll see what we come up with. And hopefully we both learn a little bit of something. In the meantime, we'll figure out what's going on with the charts right now. Are there any good trade setups coming in? Oh, and by the way, what do you guys think about the new logo, the little pirate flag, the little crypto wolf pirate flag? Personally, I think it's fart. I'm trying not to swear. I think it's freaking awesome. But of course, I spent a little bit of time on it. I like it. Drew it all from scratch. Yeah, that's badass. But all right, let's get into the chart over here. So we're looking, what do we got here? The Bitcoin 1 hour. Now, obviously, this one does have a little bit on it already. These purple dashed lines are support and resistance lines that I drew like, was that? The 11th? Yeah, that sounds about right. So I drew these right around here. Yeah, matter of fact, right after I stopped, I didn't pull this guy out any further after this little dip. And I'm like, you know what? I wanted to see, where's it potentially going? Look like, I think we were coming up a little bit and it was looking weak. So I'm like, all right, we might go sideways for a minute. Let me draw some support resistance lines and see what we're working with, if we got something to bounce off of. And, over the weekend, it did its little sideways consolidation thing again, like it has been doing seemingly, like, I swear, like almost every weekend lately. Like I didn't even check a chart at all on Sunday. I basically took a day off and worked out okay. What's today, the 14th? So let's see. Yeah, so this was Sunday right here. Came down a little bit, but didn't miss terribly much. So I'm gonna actually start on a different chart because I'm gonna leave these for a little bit because they actually do look like they've been playing out a little bit, especially this guy. Like resistance here, here. Finally broke through after what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tests. So that's kind of interesting. These two were, I almost drew one line, and I'll show you how I came up with these here in a minute, but it was such a big area and I didn't feel like drawing, another rectangle over here, although I could have, but I wanted to keep it a little clearer. So I drew like a line at the top, line at the bottom, and as you can see, I mean, sure as hell was a lot of resistance, and support was maybe a little bit lower, but kind of worked out. This guy here, generally speaking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish, 6, had a lot of bounces off of that support level. So we really been hanging out in this sideways channel for the most part until we just broke out here. I mean, shit, what, just since 2.5 hours ago. And then, of course, came up with this line over here, which was separate from this little support resistance box that I had over there. And this was basically just off the this guy here, actually, the fixed range volume profile. And we'll see if it plays out, if we come up and bounce off it or not. And this yellow line was like the max volume per price level that we really haven't even come back up to in a while. And it's not the greatest support resistance line. That's why I kind of left it a separate color just so it stands out. So, all right, that's where the most volume was prior to all this. So we'll see if it's still in play or not. But let's move over to, what's this guy here? Bybit. We could do Bybit. What's this other one? Index. Save the index for the long-term stuff. What about this guy? Binance. Yeah, we don't got too much on here. We could do this one. Get rid of that. Let's start up on the daily. If you haven't been doing it lately, you You should be. Hop up to the daily chart or the weekly chart or somewhere in between there when you go to start off. You know, once you kind of see, okay, this is what it's doing right this moment. Like, am I missing something? Do I need to jump in real quick? If not, if you got a minute to chill, hop over on the higher time frames and get a broader picture of what's going on. So that's what we're going to do. Looking at this, you know, obviously we have some support down here at this level, just right off the bat looking at it. Got more support right around this level right here, right, matter of fact, where we're at, which is acting a little more like resistance right now. Let me draw those in there. We may move them, may get rid of them. Let's see, we'll call that one right there. Yeah, we may adjust these later, but I'm just kind of grabbing some spots where we have, you know, multiple touches. Or really, we could call this other low a line right there. See, checking above. Yeah, it's probably safe to say we can we drop one in here real quick. I'm not going to go too much above that because we're not even in that territory yet. Trying to stay at least around our current price levels. And so let's see what kind of, let's start from back here. See what kind of volume we've been getting in this range. All right, so right there's our max volume. And again, you know, the max volume isn't always the greatest place to draw a support and resistance line. Because as you can see, not a lot of candles end at that line. It's just the price level where there's, you know, the most volume, and that doesn't necessarily mean it was like volume at reversals. It's just that, you know, there was a lot of trading going in at that price level, which is not to say discount it, you know, altogether, because if that really holds to be, and looks like we came back to it over here as well, although that's at this point pretty much just averaging out from all this up here. I wouldn't be surprised. This is probably going to jump up, you know, as time goes on here. But it is interesting that it stayed down here that whole time. And if you don't know, this right here, fixed range volume profile, you just select a time frame and it gives you this nice little chart over here that shows you the amount of volume per price level. So it's a lot like your regular volume down here, except this volume goes by your time, so it goes along the time scale. This one does the opposite, goes along your price scale, but same principle. And that yellow line is basically the biggest bar on that volume scale where the most volume's at. And, you know, the higher, or I should say the further to the right, and you can put this on the right side, so it'd be, you know, the tallest or longest bars is the most volume. And then you've got, you know, bearish, bullish volume, just like you got red and green candles down here, and you can make it whatever color. I just didn't do red and green because, you know, switch it up a little bit. Oh, and then this white line is like the history of where that yellow line was at the time. So, you know, if you were to do it like up to this point, it would be up here. And then, you know, jump down here. And that's where it was as time progressed. So, getting back to our little support resistance lines here, let's say we got a lot of volume, you know, right in this area right here. So you can see, you know, we got a little bit ending over here. We got some candles coming to an end over here. You know what? I'm going to throw it pretty much right where that white line was. And we probably should put something right in there. Kind of like see where these candles are ending, and then kind of close to the tops of some of these. So drop one in there. We'll see how that holds up. And then of course we've got, you know, a lot of volume in this range over here, especially back here. You know, we had some support there, support there. We've got some resistance there, a whole bunch going on in that range right over here. So let's see, I'll drop it right there. And I'm going to get rid of this guy, clear things up a little bit. So there's some basic support resistance on the daily. You know, I'd almost be more inclined to take that there, just based off the candles themselves. And I know some people like to do the bodies and other people like to do the wicks. This is on Heikin-Ashi candles, so I prefer to do the wicks on the Heikin-Ashis. So let's take that and let's grab a fib retracement. Yeah, I'd rather have the extensions go up, but let's just see real quick. All right, so here bounced off the golden pocket. A lot of support right there at the golden pocket. And as you can see, you know, once you start putting stuff down, it becomes a hot mess of lines all over the place. So try to keep it to as minimum as you can. Let's see, did any of our purple lines match up with any of the fib levels? So like this guy, I'm going to say rather than going off of this candle and the stuff in the previous, you know, little hill, little mountain back there, I'm going to adjust this. Matter of fact, you know, I'm going to throw it right on that fib line because we got a little bit going on there, a little there, even if it poked up above it. But I'm liking the fib level more than I'm liking the, you know, the previous levels over back here. Not too worried about this guy here. You know, we did come off, find a little support before it just crushed right through there. But I'm not doing too much up there until we actually get up into, you know, above the golden pocket. Then I'll start looking up there. Oh, it's stuffy in here. You know, see, this is one of those cases where you almost want like a rectangle. If I can't remember where to find it. Yeah. Like this would almost be something a little more accurate. You know, we got that support level, which was volume based. And then we got this fib level right here, 786, which you can see, you know, we did have contact right on that line a number of times. So, you know, I'll leave the rectangle there. We'll see how that goes. And then this seems to be a pretty decent golden pocket. So here's what I'm going to do. Whoops. I'm going to throw that in there. Let's make it gold so we know what it is. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. So we got some, yeah, some soft levels. We got a couple firmer support resistance ranges. And looking at market Cipher now that we kind of got a little bit of that laid out, let's see what's going on with market Cipher. So, as you can see, the money flow looks like we're curving back up. RSIs are heading up, but, you know, we are split. So it's weakening as it goes up. And, you know, just a heads up too, even though, you know, we've been a little split and just increasingly more and more split, obviously we still had a decent little pump to the upside there. But as you can see, you know, as we started getting more distance, because I mean, right here, we're not terribly split, but right here, you know, we're getting, what is this, 72 to 42. So I mean, we're getting a 30-point split right there in the RSIs, and you can see it lost its strength at that point. It had a pullback. And we've got VWAP coming back up, looking to probably get a green dot here. We've got 20 hours, so probably on this candle, so long as it continues to the upside, which, look at our DBSI, 7 to 2, coming up from the negatives. So, you know, it's not just the number itself, which in this case, you know, is a smaller number. It's also, you know, what are we coming from? So as we were coming down, went from 8, -3, -3, -5, -2. So, okay, so right here, our numbers are starting to increase again from -2 to 7. That's a decent little increase. Got us a little green candle. You know, we're decreasing up here from 18 to 10 to 2. I would expect within, you know, the next couple candles for that to come back into the negative. Again, provided we keep going up. And what we also want to see is we also want to see it break the previous high. That would confirm that we are still in an upward trend. You know, if we get cut off here or here, specifically below 45,780 something, then, you know, if it does one of these and starts heading back, yeah, we may be in trouble at that point. You know, we may come bounce here, you know, maybe do something like that. So obviously you can still trade this, you know, that move right there. You just want to watch once you start getting into this golden pocket. Are we going to push through, or are we going to, you know, hit and do something like that, which would be nice. Things to keep an eye out for. Let's go down to the 12-hour. What do we got here? Got a little bitty wave. Already got the green dot here. VWAP coming up. RSIs definitely looking better than they were on the daily. They're close together. We just crossed from the green to the red. Money flow's getting a little choppy, which I don't necessarily like. Especially just this tiny little area that we're in the green. Although technically, you know, this whole section right there was the uptrend. Thus far, at least. 16 on the DBSI. I mean, yeah, we're looking decent to head up here for a little while. Let's go to the 6-hour. 14, 15, 16. Good numbers. If you saw the last video about the market Cipher A symbols, we got our little yellow diamond going. Still -3, so we got room for this guy to come down to -5. You know, this guy, at least to get up there in the 17, 18s. You know, VWAP still up. RSI, we'll see. It's a little, you know, it is downward, even though we're pointing up at the moment. I hate to use the word divergence with this one, but that RSI is going up. That one's going down. That's, we're gonna have to pay attention to that one. Maybe we'll go back into the chart a little bit, see what happens when, in the past, when those RSIs were going different directions. I don't honestly recall paying a lot of attention to that happening at any moment. So I'm curious to see what we can make of that. As far as the momentum waves, you know, we're coming up. Kind of a meh, kind of so-so thing here. money flow is coming down, but we are coming back up a little bit. And, you know, just on this time frame right here, the 6 hour, you know, we've been getting some funky money flow waves going on here. You know, same with here. Hasn't been too terribly good in the green, but then again, we were in a big old downtrend. That is a low dip though, man. Not a big fan of that right there. That's pretty low. I mean, it can still, you know, come back up and keep going. But I can see that curvature right there. I mean, that's damn near a perfect arc right there. So we'll see what happens with this little bounce back upward. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's get a little trend line going here just to see where we're at. You know what, even better. Let's throw a little fib channel. All right, what are we working with here? What are we working with? And came down on that. Perfect. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. Looks like we're sitting right at the next one there. Was that the 382? Has some hits off of it before, hanging out above between that 382 and the 0.5. Again, finding resistance up here at the 786. Shit, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good fib channel right there. Honestly, I'll probably, as much as I hate having the crazy lines all over the place, I may just leave that one. That's looking pretty official right there. Now, one thing I like to check too before we bounce away from this is where some of these crisscross. You know, see if you get any confluence of these trend lines here. Not a big fan of looking back here. That was a little bit early. But you kind of see, you know, we bounced off here. We had this little pump to the upside where these two crisscross. And again, these purple lines aren't super accurate. Sorry. And I came up a little short right there, but I had a bunch of bodies and wicks closing right at that one. I'd say were these two crisscross, but we just drew this one to that point, so that doesn't count. Yeah, we'll see what we get right up in this area. I almost expect that unless it starts coming down sooner, that would be at least my minimum estimate. Maybe a good place where you want to look to take profits right 44,462-ish. You know, 460-ish. And again, 6 hour charts. I mean, that would probably be, what do we got? Like midday tomorrow. You know, for where I'm at, for my time zone. 4 hour, what do we got on the 4 hour here? VWAP, you know, heading up nicely. Big split on the RSIs. Coming up though, coming up on the lower here on the regular RSI. Yeah, that could be a RSI bottoming out right about there, which would be nice if these came back up, rejoined, came back up here into the you know, the 70s to 90s. That would be good. Try to see, let's see if we find a spot where they were going different directions. Like we saw on that other chart. Right here a little bit. This was going down while this was going up. What was going on then? Yeah, we still came up for a little bit. You know, this one was still kind of going down, but this was generally trending up and eventually caught back up to it. Of course, yeah, it wasn't good what happened after that. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the case here. More than anything, so these guys being split right here while it was coming down seems is more of a signal of weakness on that downtrend. I wouldn't necessarily attribute that to this uptrend that we're just starting. But we do want to see these come back together a little bit. We want to see them get back together. They broke up. It's time to work it out. You know, communication, guys. Don't be arguing and fighting and storming out the door. Don't be like these RSIs. Let's see, 3 hour. See, they're already coming together on the 3 hour. That's what we like to see. A little bit of bullish divergence showed up over here. Damn, I wish I would have been watching. I would have started that trade back then. And especially on this pullback, that would have been a beautiful spot. Ow. Whew. Sorry. Man, I bruised my rib yesterday. Being out in the outdoors, laying down, playing a particular sport. There really wasn't a good spot to lay down. It was like gravel. So, yeah, gotta do what you gotta do when you're trying to do the long range stuff. But, ooh, every time I tap it, feels great. Gotta love it. Love the pain. Makes you stronger. All right, on the 1 hour. Yep, money flow still to the upside. RSI's joined at the hip. Beautiful thing. Brings a tear to my eye. Let's get rid of some of this nonsense here. Yeah, RSI's heading up, just getting up there into the heights. Hard to call it divergence on this one, but could kind of call it like a double bottom, even though technically this one's just a wee bit lower. But it played out like it was divergence. A little bit of weakness in that pump there, so kind of signaled that it was going to pull back. We got VWAP. We're kind of bouncing above in a downward direction now. Especially, you know, getting down here on these time frames, 10, 13, 11. You know, feels like we're either going to take a little pause like this, just a little consolidation break, or, you know, maybe get something like this, catch, you know, 3 or 4 candles to the downside before continuing on its way. Doesn't have to be, but, you know, we're not really at a steep angle anymore. You can see just this angle here. Let me show you what we're looking at here. So if you're to draw, you know, that was the previous angle right there. And if it'll let me, that was the angle before that. And now you can see how this is clipping, starting to roll over. Signs that, you know, you want to be keeping an eye out for, especially on this light blue, which is the leading momentum wave. You know, see, as you can see, the dark one's a little smoother, a little rounded, whereas this one tend to get, you know, some jagged little rocky peaks going on, just because it's a little bit more reactive to the price. As you can see, VWAP. Oh my gosh. VWAP turning down, but doesn't necessarily, not until it crosses that zero line do you want to consider it, down and out. It's still fighting. It's still in the game. All right, let's jump down to the 30-minute here. Let's see what we got. Man, look at that. Nice and tight together. We all like it tight. Get your mind out of the gutter. That's not what I'm talking about. Jeez, you degenerates. Money flow up, but man, we're kind of going sideways here just as this is starting to clip. Yeah, it'd be nice if we had even just one of these. I'll take one of these. Just a little bit of a little healthy pullback before slingshotting on its way. We're about at the same height between these two, so I'm not worried about divergence just yet. Although I bet you we get down to these smaller time frames, we might see something. So let's check 24. About the same, already crossed over. Let's check the 15. It's got a little, it's still angled downward, but it's obviously it's not steep, and we're just shy of paralleling the zero line. And if we go straight side, honestly, I almost like this angle better than straight sideways, because we come down a little bit, get that downward retracement out of our system, and then cross back over from the dark side. Starting to get some strong numbers on the DBSI over here. Got a 19. Looked like we were, it looked like it was gonna keep continuing up, but we might have a little bit of downishness in it. Check the 12-minute. Pretty much sideways, sitting sideways. Yeah, nothing too much else to see there. Just real choppy on the money flow. Even on the previous few time frames, not exactly what you want to see. Now you like to see nice. I mean, even this is really kind of small, but you like to see like this, nice in the green for a while, nice big green. Even that, like, I want to see this bigger one. These little guys right here where we're just flip-flopping back and forth. It's sketchy. It's flaky, Holmes. We got popping out a red candle. Shoot down to the 4-minute here. Yeah, we're technically kind of getting some lower highs. I went from here to here to here. Representative of the momentum waves that we're seeing there. It's fighting though. What's the volume look like? Not much. What is this? This is Binance? It's that low? Huh. Yeah, it's not really shaking. I mean, look at that. Had decent chunks of volume on these guys. Let's see if I were to pull back though. How's it compare? Now, depending on how much you're zoomed in, those volume bars are going to be kind of relative. So if I were to zoom in on like these 5 candles, you'd be like, oh, there's a lot of volume there. But obviously, in comparison, wasn't that much. What's this? Oh, a little head and shoulders action. Let's see, looking down here. Yeah, even for the 4-minute, Money flow is not bad. It's a little better than it's been for a while. RSI's together. Yeah, pointing down, but especially on a lower time frame, you can see the real zigzaggy. That almost comes off, looking at it, almost comes off like divergence, but you know, remember we actually did have just ever so slightly lower highs, so in order for it to be divergence, it would have to be higher highs on the price and then lower highs on the momentum waves. But yeah, momentum's just, it can't get above the 50 right there. It's low volume, it's losing strength. We'll see. Let's see, how often are we getting some volume here? Here. So we got, you know, we got some gaps in between the times where there's more trading going on. But, you know, obviously we're getting higher lows. So higher lows and lower highs means we're kind of squeezing with the low volume. Now, obviously, this is not the 4-minute. This is just a tiny little, basically just something to visualize. Not saying it's a pattern really per se. But it tells you, you know, once you break out of there, all right, well, we're moving somewhere. It's doing something. If you wanted to get fancy, you could even put a little target in there for yourself. Actually, that would kind of make sense. Come back and retest this the fib line right there. Yeah, I can see that. So that's Bitcoin. That's where we're at. Just to recap here on the 1 hour. How long are we? 37 minutes? Oh, I guess I'm rambling today. Coming back to the 1 hour, money flow still coming up, possibly peaking, but you know, I'd like to see that RSI hang out for a while. I'd like to see it do something like this again and then continue upward. You know, we're still fairly low in this fib channel. At least I'd like to see it come up here to that golden pocket. So yeah, maybe a little pullback, a little bit of sideways action before we keep on trucking. Let's see what's going on with some other coins. All right, so that was basically just some standard regular old technical analysis that, you know, if I'm not trying to do anything fancy or try anything new, that's generally about what I would be doing. So let's see what's up with some other stuff. Haha. I almost, look at that. I almost nailed the center. Dead on. Uh-oh. It's giving me the boot. All right, there we go. Matt, you know, I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to leave that there for posterity. Just for bragging rights. Just because I called it. What do we got here? Yeah, see, we had some bullish divergence going on here. Money flow is coming up. See what happens here with this VWAP. 30-minute. Already crossing over. Yeah, at this point, you know, it's, you know, how far do we expect it to come down? We are still in the green on the money flow, so. And obviously, when in doubt, zoom out, come up to a higher time frame. What do we got? 4 hour flip-flopping. Just came back into the green, but I mean, that was like a nothing of a red. I mean, look at that. Nothing. And we're basically still nothing in the green. But we did come down off of a larger green wave in the money flow. Obviously, in the grand scheme of things, we have to beat that peak right there. You know, that's the long-term goal here. See, 6 hour again, you know, low in the green. We shall see. We shall see. All right. Who else on deck? I'll just go in order here. Litecoin. What's Charlie up to? About the same. Let's see. Let's do the 1 hour. Let's just keep it simple. About the same. Polkadot. What's Polkadot got going here? Looks like we got some drawings here. What's up with that? Looks like got a big old channel going here. Money flow looking good on Polkadot. I mean, as long as we're not getting choppy over here too. A little bit of spread, but not. I say not terrible, but shit, that's like a 30-point spread. Whoops, what did I hit? Yeah, about the same. A little pullback time. What's going on with Cardano? Kind of holding strength there. A little bit higher on the bull or the bear side. Again with the split. Money flow though, still in the red, but shit. What's hold on, what's our number here? Negative 0.2. So we're basically at 0 on the money flow. VWAP's coming down towards 0. A little conflicting there. You know, coming off of these big red swings, man, it'd be nice to see us continue, you know, up here to the upside, stay in the green for a little while. Now Solana here, we got RSIs are coming back in together, showing a little bit more strength, something to keep an eye on. What was that? 5%? What's that from here? Nice little 7% right there. See, VeChain. Honestly, everybody's kind of looking the same. Big spread on that, so that sucks. We got Phantom. What's going on with Phantom? Still big spread, but, you know, less than that. Let's see, what do we got here? We got us a little fib channel on here on a bit bigger time frame. Broke through the bottom of it. We come back and retest this trend line right here. It's probably bad news that we're heading off to the downside, so keep an eye out for that one. Just the bearer of great news today. What's up with audio? Audio is one of those projects that doesn't tend to do what everything else is doing, and that's not always a good thing. Matter of fact, more times than not, it's not a good thing. It's looking fairly similar today, though. Ouch. Yeah, I bought a little bit for the hodl position, and man, did I do it at a terrible time. I was so busy dumping other stuff at the top of the market, I just didn't get around to dumping audio. So I guess we ain't doing nothing with that for a while. I don't see that one getting back up there for a minute. Cartesi, what's up with Cartesi? What you doing here? What you doing, girl? Looks like we got. Just gonna eyeball this one. A little bit of a trend coming here. that I don't want to break. Coming back up. Cartesians, at least down here on the market Cipher B, looking a little different. All right, let's see SHIB. Let's see Shiba Inu. Definitely looking a little different. Didn't pull back as far. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's just switch. You can see the difference here between these two. Had a nice little pump. What was that? 70%. 70%. Well, ain't that just something special? I know it's funny. I remember drawing this thing out too. It's like, whoosha. And whoosha. Just popped out of that one like a baby running for the exit. Came back into this channel though. Man, that channel. How long ago did I draw that? Holy crap, a while ago. Oop, oh crap. Yeah, that channel's definitely holding strong though. What do we got? Yeah, money flow come back up to the upside. RSI kind of down a little bit, but it'd be nice to see a little turnaround. Now, personally, I don't actually own any SHIB. Any Shiba. But it's a nice one to trade, you know, when it's getting a lot of volume, a lot of people going in on it. It's a nice one to trade. We got here Dogecoin. Super flaky. RSI's been coming down. What's up with Atom? Now that's a different looking chart. What do we got here? Possibly some money flow coming back up. We got from here to here, we got some bullish divergence. That's looking kind of nice. 2122 on the DBSI. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh. Yeah, time for a little pullback. See how, you know, we're coming up here and starting to get this little pullback just like we had over here. This is a great example of what I was talking about in, I think it was the DBSI video, but I probably mentioned it in that very first intro to Market Cipher video. When you see these guys just start out right out the gate, up in the 20s, 21, 24, 25, it's, you know, it's going to do a little bit of a pump, but it tends to burn itself out. Now with the 17, if we can get another candle with a 17, you know, it can hold that for a while, and that would be, you know, a very nice run to the upside. But when you start, you know, getting these high 20s just right out of the gate, matter of fact, here you go, like that, oftentimes it has a tendency to burn itself out. But if it can keep pumping 17s, 16s, 18s, shit, it'll go on as long as it wants. As long as people want their Atom. All right, Luna. What's going on? Terra Luna. Oh shit, we got a giant fib on here, don't we? I don't necessarily know if that's valid. Got drawn a while back, although, you know, came back retested. Hopefully that's not a bad omen. Because typically when you break a pattern, come back, retest, it's confirmation that you're heading in that direction. But on on the super big time frames, doesn't always play out like that because you're talking macro level stuff and a lot can change. And what do we got? Like just this alone is a week. So we're talking like 2.5 weeks right here. Extended out here, I mean, you're talking like a month or more. It could just continue on to the upside and cross back over. But this resistance line right here, that's the big dog right now. That's the one that it's got to beat. All right, I'm guessing everything else is probably looking very similar to like Bitcoin and ETH. Same. Yeah, somewhat same. Not quite as bad. I don't even know why I have comp on there. Binance coin. Definitely not shaking like it used to be. Theta. Now look at that. Theta doing a little bit better. Got its little upward channel going. RSI's low, but a lot of it's still generally the same. Monero, about the same, sideways pump. Came back to still this little upward, little weak channel. It's the avalanche. Yeah, again, right back to the same upward channel. Looking decent though, but we'll see how our little triangle plays out here. Out on the 4-hour, more times than not, tend to get that pullback after the triangle. Ave. Not as steep, but where the hell did that line come from? Oh. Got to go back and like clean up some of these drawings. I'll leave it in there and be like, all right, let's see how it plays out. And then I won't look at it for like a week or two and I'll come back and be like, why the hell did I draw those lines? Oh, yeah. Oh, sand. All right, let's check sand. That's different. That's different. I don't know. That's looking a little downish to me. Sparta. Basically, you ever have one of those shit coins that you really don't care anything about it, you just like the name. So I'll just be like, you know what? Let me throw $40 in there just so I could say I've got some Sparta coin. And people are like, what? That's madness. And you're like, it's not madness. This is Sparta. But you have no expectation of making any money off it. You just like to see it in your portfolio. You really just be scrolling through. You get down to the bottom. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, there's my Sparta coin. Oh, it's down 50%. Oh, I really don't care. What else? Wax. I think Wax was just in a BitBoy video. And for those who don't know, Wax is actually, as far as projects go, it's a pretty decent one. As far as trading goes, I do not recommend it whatsoever. See these big ass wicks sticking up every here and there? Just looking like blood drips from a gunshot wound. Just drip, 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 drip. Yeah, that is super low liquidity. And you do not want to be trading anything with low liquidity. Because, let's say, all right, you bought down here, it pumped, it came up, you're like, okay, up, you see your big old blood diamond on the 4-hour, you're like, all right, it's time to get out. And you put in your limit sells, and nothing's happening. Like, oh shit, okay, it's not going to see you lower that limit. Oh, still nothing happening. Starting to come down a little bit. Now you're starting to freak out. You're getting these little stop loss wreckers there. And you're like, ah, shit. Like, all right, I want to get rid of this. I know it's going down. Maybe you switch it to a market order. Well, the 50 other people who are, trying to sell theirs at the same time or driving it down further. By the time your market order goes in and it actually finds enough liquidity to fill the order, I mean, shit, you may be down here. So rather than getting, 120% profit, which, a lot of these ones do tend to have decent profit numbers, but a lot of times it's just that liquidity could kill you. Maybe you end up with 20% or worse. You never know. Depending on the exchange too. I mean, this is on what, Bitfinex, but sometimes some of these coins you can only find them on these like obscure exchanges. Like what was one like Ogre coin? I forget, that was one that I was trying to buy, and that was like the only place that had even a tiny bit of liquidity, to where I think it took like 2 days for my buy order to fill. I mean, really? Yeah. How often have you ever had to like just let a buy, like a spot buy order, not even a long, but like just a spot buy order, just freaking chill for 2 days before it can get filled? I mean, yeah, don't be messing around with that stuff. We got Yiffy, Yiffy Kaye. That's a little different, actually. That might have some gas in it right there. Wi-Fi. Yearn Finance. We got Matic. Yeah. Hold on. I don't know. I'm a little more skeptical of Matic at the moment. Erratics. Dude, I can't even remember where I heard about this. Erratics. Sounds like friggin' bug killer. Had a wicked nasty pump though, 500%. It's still recuperating. It's still hung over from that big ass pump. I forget what it is though, but the project, I heard something about the project. It was enough to make me put it on the list down at the bottom. Most of the stuff down at the bottom are like these weird, obscure, maybe not weird and obscure, but definitely lesser known projects that if it ever goes down to like dirt cheap, maybe you throw fucking $50 in it and wait till you see like a 300% move one day. Elastos. Yep, that's what it is. Again, most of these are just having that cool down period after a big pump. And then typically you want to wait till the end of that cool down period, because then you kind of find that fair value price and you can actually kind of see, all right, what's it worth? What's it going to hang out at for a minute until the next pump? Because a lot of people will be like, came down here and they'll be like, oh yeah, it's low, and they'll buy it, and then it's just just continues to take crap. What is this? Origin. True. Ain't never told no lie. Ain't never told no lie. Rarible. This one actually doesn't even really belong at the bottom, but if you don't know Rarible, that's the NFT marketplace. I mean, their token's not really anything to shake a stick at, but Polka City. Man, I saw this one pumping again just recently. Like, I don't expect this to really ever be worth anything. Maybe, like when next time we have like a big bull market and everybody's just dumping money into everything. Like, these are those projects that are like that, to where, you wait till the bottom of the bear market when there's blood in the streets. You've already bought up all your blue chips. And then maybe you're just looking like, all right, what are some decent projects that are going to at least have like a news release? Like, there'll be some story coming out once things start pumping a little bit. Matter of fact, where's my favorite one? I don't even know where it's at. Ethereum Classic. Man, look at that. See, it's having the nice money flows. What's up with that? Why is ETC having nice money flows and everybody else is slumping? Oh, well, I don't know where it's at. All right, I rattled on long enough. Look at that, hour exactly on the dot. If you're still watching at this point, props to you. You're friggin' hardcore. I love you. Hanging out. Nobody is probably listening at this point, but if you are, send a shout out in the comments. If there's something that you want to throw on the list for when we take a look at the charts, you know, take a look, see what Market Cipher is doing. I get it. Not everybody can afford Market Cipher. So if there's something you want me to look at, throw it down there in the comments. We'll take a look. If you could tell me like 2 sentences about it, that'd be even better. Help me decide whether I really want to actually look at it. But no, I mean, I will anyways, but all right. Oh, hey, real quick, if you're also still listening, let me know, what'd you think of the pirate flag? You know, what do you think of that guy? Let me know. You think it's hot? You think it's not? Would you swipe left or swipe right? Holler at your boy. Have a good one, everybody. Stay free. See you next time.